Now then, it's Burnsy. Welcome to our regular Curiosity podcast, the CuriosityCast. Every episode, we take questions asked by members of the public in Hull and try to get them the best answers from the very best brains in the city of Hull. Not all questions are about Hull. They can be about whatever you want to discover, so make sure you send us your question. This episode, we're talking to Back 2 Hours. Well, one of the staff from Back 2 Hours. I'll tell you. Well, I won't tell you about Back 2 Hours. Let's get our guest telling us about Back 2 Hours. Nesta Sheehan is the company manager of Back 2 Hours and joins us on the CuriosityCast. Nice to see you, Nesta.
Hello.
For those that don't know, and they must have been living in a cave, what's Back 2 Hours?
So, Back 2 Hours is an arts organisation in the city of Hull. We are a charity. We've been a charity now for 2 years and an Arts Council national portfolio organisation. So we've joined the likes of Hull Truck, Middlechild, Freedom Festival, and we now receive our core funding from the Arts Council, which is brilliant. We've been around for a pretty long time though. Back 2 Hours originally began way back in 2012 when our amazing director, Louise Yates.
She's a force of nature.
She really
Louise.
is. She's a pocket rocket.
Yeah.
She had an idea to tour shows in community venues outside of the city centre. Mm-hmm. And she's always had this idea bubbling away. And in 2017, our amazing year as City of Culture, Louise was a producer and worked on lots of projects, but she managed to get funding to bring Back 2 Hours to life. And it was a festival as part of 2017 that toured all the community venues in the city, but focused in areas of low arts engagement. So your estates and, residential areas where people don't tend to travel to the city centre to come to the theatre or Freedom Festival or whatever's going on. So, yeah, that's where it began. And in 2018, we became what's called an Arts Council Creative People and Places organisation.
Sounds fancy.
Yeah. We were given lots of money to try and raise the levels of arts engagement in the city. And we ran like that up until 2023 when we became our own charity and an NPO.
So obviously it's worked because you've got some longevity. What's given you the warmest glow? What gives you the big buzz at Back 2 Hours?
Lots of different things really. That's a hard question to pin it down.
Is it? I wasn't going to ask any hard questions. I'm like Paxman now on the CuriosityCast.
Under pressure, but
because you've got to lots of people, haven't you? And you have been out to places that wouldn't normally see arts and culture.
And when you look at our stats since 2018, when we became a project in our own right, we've done over 20,000 events. We've engaged with almost 500,000 people, and we're still going. The numbers are still growing. But I think the warmest bit for me is seeing how the effect that it has on people, that the effect that access to really good quality arts and culture, whatever you want to call it, has on the people that we're trying to engage. And everything we do as an organisation is underpinned by a group of hub members, and they're our volunteers. We've got 90 of them altogether, about 45 of them that engage with us sort of on a really regular basis, and they help us programme everything we do. And they live in all of the different areas that we're trying to target, and they help spread the word in their area. And seeing the passion that our hub members have got is really, it's a really rewarding thing. And they've been on the journey with us from the beginning. So we go to Edinburgh Festival with them.
I've seen them up there.
Yeah.
I've seen them.
They get to see lots of different shows. They decide what they like and what they want us to programme when we get back. And they're very discerning. They know what they like and what they don't like. There's no messing. So for me, that is one of the best things, seeing how our hub members have developed. And we also have a hub member who now works for us part-time. So she's Emma, who is amazing. She's really brilliant at talking to people. She's now our engagement assistant and does lots of amazing work up at Branzone.
This will be producer Dave.
And when you say the people you're trying to target, it is people outside of the city centre, really, isn't it? And people who might not be able to get into the city centre events for economic or physical or disability reasons and stuff like that. So you take the events right into their front garden, some of them, don't you?
That's right, literally. We've put orchestras on green spaces in like cul-de-sacs. We use church halls, community centres, social clubs, and try and take things right to people's doorsteps. That's what our touring programme is called, Right on Your Doorstep, because we really feel there are loads of spaces in communities that aren't fully utilised that we can put amazing things in and people can come and see it without having to travel. We subsidise tickets so they don't cost a fortune, and our work is always of really good quality. We've worked with a circus company called Cassis from Australia, and they actually came from a run at Sydney Opera House to perform on Orchard Park.
Nice.
So,
that's a nice story. That sort of sums it up, really.
Yeah, you don't get better than that, really.
Oh.
All for £3.
You should have paid them more than that.
Yeah, exactly. That was just about paying the bus fare home.
We got them some sandwiches.
Last bus from Orchard Park to Sydney is a bugger to get. Anyway.
Yeah.
Quality. I'll ask one of the questions that's come into the Curiosity Cast, and you've sort of touched on it already. This is from Matt in HU5 in the Avenues. How do you decide which events to put on and where? Like, how do you choose a garden, for instance?
Well, that's down to our hub members,
right? Okay.
Mainly. So our hub members help us programme work, and then we need to find a venue that work will fit in for a start. So like using circus again as an example, if they need a big circus rig for all the acrobats, then we can't necessarily put it in a library space.
So it's work before venues. You choose the artist first.
Sometimes it's a bit of both, because we also have venues that we want to work with and we want to share the love with a bit. So we've got a really good partnership at the moment with Middle Child Theatre, and that's sort of a bit of an easier show to programme. So they bring their panto back to ours in February, and that one's a little bit easier, so we can be a bit freer where we put that in a community centre or something with more of a basic space. But if it's something a bit more elaborate, then we have to look and see what community assets we've got in the city and where our hub members think it's best placed. So we've worked a lot in schools before, because obviously over the summer holidays they're shut, and there's all that amazing space there.
I'm glad you're doing that, because one of the things, it grew out of building schools for the future in the city, didn't it? There was venues,
that's
back
right.
in the day.
Yeah, and they've all got amazing theatres that are always utilised. But we've put stuff on in school atriums. We had an amazing circus show up at Sirius Academy in their foyer and atrium, and we used the ceiling, and we had acrobats dangling down, and it was, it all depends on how the show fits the venue, I guess.
So you've got this, you're doing 20,000 shows. People will be listening to the Curiosity Cast going, Burnsy, just ask Nesta, how do you afford it all? How are you bringing people from Australia to Orchard Park and, and keeping ticket prices low?
Yeah, good question. We all work very hard.
Yeah.
And we're fundraising all the time. So we have some amazing funders that are really supportive and committed to our work, like the Arts Council, who give us our core cash every year. But we're also funded by the Esme Fairbairn Foundation, who are an amazing trust. They've supported us now for 6 years. We've got an amazing relationship with them. We've done big gives, so like crowdfunding campaigns. We've been out on the streets without our Memphis Pete Elvis asking for cash.
Sorry, couldn't resist it though. You can edit that out.
No, don't leave that.
At least the listeners can't see your hips shaking.
We are always applying for more money. Our amazing Brandham Chat project up at Brandham North Point Shopping Centre is funded by the National Lottery. They've really supported that project up there.
Tell us about that. Because it was one of my questions, and there is a question coming in from Kathy on Greatfield about the chat project. What's Brandham Chat? Tell us about it.
Well, it basically is what it says on the tin. So we've got a shop unit in North Point Shopping Centre up at Brandham, and it's basically a chat shop. So it's a space where anyone can come in, have a drink and chat and speak to other people, speak to other residents. We've always got exciting guest chatters. We'd love to have you up there, actually.
Would you?
Yeah.
Seriously, I'd depress them all. I'd happily do it.
You've got it on record, Nesta.
Very good. We shall be in touch.
We might bring a Curiosity camera crew or something.
We
could do something that.
Amazing people up there, and there's always something that they can get involved with. If it's just doing a couple of jigsaws, if it's something a bit bigger, like we've had an amazing singing project with Ruth Getz, who's a local singer.
Very good.
Yeah.
I once spat lager all over her, but that's a different story entirely. So, due to Dave's mate, Dean Wilson.
Oh,
no,
yes.
not Dean Windus. No, we're all getting confused with Dean Wilson.
We've worked a lot with Dean, so we've had Dean up at the shop before.
Yeah.
We've created a comic with people up there, but basically it's just a space where people can come. It's open, welcoming to everybody. They can chat to people. They can get involved in something else if they like a bit of crafting or whatever. We have lots of family stuff up there.
I saw a test. I do some research for the CuriosityCast. You may find it difficult to believe, but I saw a testimonial from a woman who'd lost her husband.
Yeah.
And basically coming to Bransholm Chat just kept her going, basically, because there was people to chat to her and take her mind off what was going on in her head, really. Yeah. And so, great credit. And the question on Bransholm Chat is, so could we have chat shops in other parts of the city? Is there any plans?
Yes, we would love more chat shops. We'd really love to open a second one, but again, it's all funding dependent. And yeah,
if anybody out there's got a bus already, you could make it mobile for a you could
that'd be
an
an amazing idea.
Chat week or
mobile
something.
chats,
mobile
chat
shop.
week. Get your bus round and do a chat shop round.
We'd be up for that, definitely.
I reckon Burnsy would make a good driver.
Stick
a cap on him.
Oh dear.
Good
on
idea.
The buses with Burnsy wouldn't work. Okay. I don't mind going to Bransholm Chat. I'm not driving a bus. I'm not a bus anorak. I don't have that ambition in me.
So it's just funding really that stops you going to other parts of the
Yes,
city.
and it takes time to build something that's really meaningful, I think, because we've been at Bransholm for a long time. So Louise was there back in 2017 with the Gold Nose shop.
Uh-huh.
And
The what?
do you remember the Gold Nose from 2017?
No.
Vaguely, yeah.
So there was the legend of the Gold Nose of Bransholm, and people could go into the shop and see the Gold Nose and have a cast of their nose made.
Right, okay.
Here's what I got you for Christmas, man.
It's me nose.
Did it sound less stupid at the time?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Lots of people came in, got their nose done. And Louise started making a lot of connections up there. Really loved the shopping centre because it's quite unique because it's packed, North Point.
Yeah.
Often you walk through the city centre and it's really quiet, but North Point has got really good footfall. And I think last year at the shop we had over 20,000 visitors over the year. So it's a really busy place. But we've developed a steering group up there of local residents, Bransholm people who want to make a difference in their area. And they were instrumental in getting the funding from the lottery, and they sort of help us plan the day-to-day activities. And, if they don't say we can do it, then we don't do it.
So watch this space. There may be another chat.
I hope so. If there are any rich people listening and they'd like to have a chat.
They all listen.
They all
listen. It cuts across all boundaries, CuriosityCast.
Yeah.
They'll be mowing their lawns in Kirkella. Thinking, what should I do with that spare 10 grand?
Oh, we'll make use of it, definitely.
Excellent. Let's go to some more questions. How do you decide who gets commissions? Can anyone apply? Says Sam in Nature 7 in Sutton.
Yes, definitely. Anyone can apply. If you've got an idea, let us know. At the moment, we only run one commission a year, which links to our winter parade, which we've got on this week at the moment.
Okay.
And our
which will be last week when the CuriosityCast goes out. But anyway, it happens every year.
Yeah, it does. It happens every year, and all of our hub members get together and we invite as many artists that want to come and pitch, really, just to talk a little bit about their work. We try not to have a pre-formed idea. That's very important to us because we want whatever the artist does to be shaped by the residents that they'll be working in the area that they're working
in. So spoon benders, mind benders,
anything you like.
Somebody who's got an idea for a play or something like that, or whatever.
Is there many mind benders?
Well, I don't know. Wayne Fontana might.
I'll have a go.
I hope you realise the modernity of my cultural reference there.
Wayne Fontana
and the mind benders.
Shaking all over, was it?
I don't know.
Wayne Fontana.
They were early 60s band.
Oh, okay.
It's the only Mindbenders reference I could
I think
quickly
the hit was
dredge
Shaking
up.
All Over. I think that was their
Right.
big
No,
hit.
that was a Pirates one.
That was Johnny Kidd and the Pirates, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
anyway. Sorry, Nesta. It gets like this occasionally on the
This is
Curiosity
exactly like the
Cast.
Brand Zone chat rooms, like.
Yes, I'll fit
pretty
in
much.
perfectly. So, do people go to the website then? Is that the font of all knowledge? There is a website, isn't there, for
so
Back to Hours?
backtohours.co.uk. You can keep your eye on that, sign up to our newsletter and our social media. But as I say, we do, at the moment, we have a commission once a year. It's decided by our hub members, and then we work together to create something amazing. So our hub members this year commissioned the amazing Anna Bean to make a winter wonderland as part of our parade, and it's very good.
Lovely. Talking of
Sorry, take it back.
websites and things like
Shaking All Over was a hit for Johnny Kidd and the Pirates.
that. Yeah.
It was Wayne Fontana, wasn't it? Sorry, I've Googled the wrong
Google
thing.
it.
And the Mindbenders.
Sorry for
we don't
interrupting.
have to go there. It's, we've
No.
laboured the gag now.
You carry on.
No, it's okay. So talking of websites, this is the Curiosity Cast. I'm Burnsy. Our guest today is the company manager of the wonderful Hull organisation that is Back to Hours. She's Nesta Sheehan. And we do lots of Curiosity podcasts. We do lots of stuff on Curiosity, all sorts of films and content. So if you want to get in touch, if you've got a question, we'll answer it either on the next podcast or in the content you can find on the Curiosity social feed. So message us even at www.curiosityhull.co.uk or find Curiosity Hull on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Blue Sky.
Blue Sky now,
Dave's
yes.
got his own Blue Sky now.
Looking after the refugees from Twitter.
Right, okay. Glad in Bilton, Nesta wants to know, do other cities have similar projects to Back to Hours?
I guess the easy answer is no.
Right, oh, well, that's
Because,
good enough.
Back to Hours is very unique, I would say. There are lots of different organisations in the country that have similar aims to us, like to engage people, new people in arts and culture, so people who wouldn't normally engage. So when we were an Arts Council Creative People and Places project, we were one of 33 in the country, and they're all in areas of typically low arts engagement. But they're all very different because they're all in different places and they're all unique to the town or the city that they're in.
But there's no reason why the model wouldn't work in other towns, is there?
No, that's
You can
true.
move it to Glasgow or anywhere.
Yeah, I think
no
it's
difference.
just about getting to know the place that you're in, and getting to understand what people want. But I like to think that there's no other organisation like that.
No. What do you think people want from Back to Hours then? That's a tough question. That's
is.
two and a half hour podcast. I'm going to have a lie down.
I think they want good quality arts right on their doorsteps. And I think entertainment. Sometimes people are a bit scared of the word. In the arts, they're a bit scared of the word entertainment.
Are they?
I think so.
Oh, people in the arts are scared of entertainment. Your
Yeah.
audience.
You're not meant to entertain, you're meant to engage, you're meant to educate. You're not meant to just let people enjoy
this
it.
is it.
But your punters would probably be more scared. We're going to get philosophical
Well,
by
exactly.
the word arts
Yes.
and culture.
Yes.
Arts and culture is not for me.
Exactly.
I want entertainment.
That's
But
it.
what I think Back to Hours do is I think they sneak the arts section in by the back door.
Mm-hmm.
So for the front line, it's Elvis Presley and
Uh-huh.
Dolly Parton. Do your best, Dolly, Dave. No, he's good up on that one. But behind that, then comes the more cerebral, can we say?
Yes.
The less straightforward pop art stuff and more kind of your dance troops and things like
That's
that.
exactly it. So we try and have a really good mix of the familiar with the unfamiliar because we don't want to put anybody off. And I guess we use the familiar as more of a hook to say, it's all right, come and have a go. And if you don't like it, don't worry about it. It's it's not a problem.
And then once
Try
they're in, it's
something
all
else.
Bratislava nose flutes.
Is it?
But we
No, it's not.
we used to do, when we had a bit more cash, we used to do secret gigs. So people would pay
Yeah.
a fiver and
Yeah.
you wouldn't know what you were coming to see. And we did them typically in social clubs like William Gemmell.
I seem to remember going to one.
Yeah.
For the life of me, I can't remember who I saw, but it was a good night.
Yeah, very good. And up at Willow's Club, which is still open on Holderness Road. And we would programme something really familiar, like we've had Cannon and Ball,
Yeah.
Bobby Davro, the Griswolds, Is that the Grumbleweeds?
Grumbleweeds.
Grumbleweeds.
No, the Griswolds.
The Griswolds.
Is it a
That's
film?
Christmas.
It's national vacation, isn't it? It's the Griswolds. It'd be brilliant to get Chevy Chase.
Yeah, that would be good. But then alongside that, we've had like Acro and a sword swallower and a female clown, and really tried to show, to give people the opportunity to see something they wouldn't otherwise see.
And what sort of feedback do you get? People coming to say, "You've opened my eyes. I'm going to try something else now. I'm going to venture out, and I will go into a city centre venue or something." Do you get that?
We do. A lot of our audiences have started just by dipping their toe in something really familiar, and now they go off and go all over the place, Royal Albert Hall, or they go to whole new theatre. They save up and go on a trip and see something that they would never have thought, oh, that's for me. Now they do go and engage with other stuff, which is really good. Sometimes it doesn't work. We're very open with saying sometimes we have feedback that we've maybe gone too far, or people don't like
what
that.
Went too far?
The balloon dancers.
No, nobody brought any pins.
Sometimes we've programmed some
Health
stuff.
and safety reasons.
Again, at secret gigs that people were expecting, or they maybe they didn't like because it's not the sort of thing that they would see in their club.
Right.
So it's not worked, but we always think it's well worth taking a risk, because for the minority that don't like it, the majority overwhelmingly do. Yeah.
Right, excellent. This from Darren in Gypsyville, who says, "What was your favourite Back to Hours event?" Darren says, "Mine was Black Grape in the Branny Centre. I went to that. That was a wonderful night."
That was a really good one. Yeah, I think Sean Ryder said he's never ever thought that he would play in front of an Iceland.
Yes.
And he did.
It was a great night. It was a fantastic gig.
We've put on some really amazing bands actually in North Point Shopping Centre. It's a brilliant space, and the acoustics, because of the way the ceiling is.
Back to atriums.
Yeah, back to atriums.
Yes.
The bands love it. But I guess my favourite Back to Hours event would probably be either a secret gig or a shindig. So we run another programme for older people. Over 65s, anyone who's feeling a bit lonely can come and basically have a party for the afternoon.
Right.
We have really good entertainment. Bottomless afternoon tea. You can eat and drink as much as you like, get up and have a dance, meet new people, and hopefully feel a bit uplifted afterwards.
And where do they go on?
We travel all over the place with them, but we have got one coming up next Thursday at Edinburgh Street Community Centre, which is a lovely venue. We've got lots of exciting stuff planned there. And I don't know how old you are, Burnsy, but...
if you watch one of the latest Curiosity films, we're a member of the Middle Child Theatre, their Christmas panto, I shall be consulting my lawyers on my age.
He's always very vague about his age.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm old. I'm almost there.
Well, we'd let
Nesta,
you in.
I'm almost there.
We'd make an
I'm almost there. I'm a miserable so-and-so. You don't need me at a party. I'm one of these blokes who, sits in the corner of the kitchen.
Yeah, it would be
with
impossible.
a Watney's Party 7. You see, I'm giving you all the clues to my age.
There's
Wayne
another reference.
Fontana, the Mindbenders.
We should say Wayne Fontana's hits, because I've looked it up properly now, is The Game of Love was their big one, of course.
Right. I can't remember.
And A Groovy Kind of Love before Phil Collins got his hands on it.
That's better. That's better. I remember that.
You do remember A Game of Love. The Game of Love. The Game of Love.
That's very
Can
good.
that be the outro for the podcast?
Shall I bring Dave when I do my Brandstone chat? And he can do Wayne Fontana and the Mindbenders in the corner.
We often have karaoke on. So
Do you?
Well, I did that deliberately bad so we wouldn't get sued for the money. If it's too close, we have to pay a fee.
Yeah, understand.
Dear. So, well done, Darren. I agree with you on Black Grape in the Branny Centre. That was a terrific gig. We've sort of touched on this, but Tracy in Orchard Park wants to ask the question to Curiosity. How do you think your activities enhance people's lives?
Ooh, putting it really simply, I hope it just makes people happy. In one sense, it makes people feel good, makes them feel better, and it makes them curious. In that they want to go out and find more, gives them a bit of an appetite for more arts, entertainment, culture, whatever you want to call it, and that it, particularly with our hub members, that it gives them a real sense of pride in who they are and where they come from, because Hull is a brilliant place, and there are many areas in Hull that have a bad reputation,
Mm-hmm.
but for us, I think at Back to Ours, we see a different side because we see a lot of people who really want to make something of where they live, and they love where they come from, and they want to stay there, and I want them to feel like they deserve to have stuff right on their doorstep. They shouldn't have to come into the city centre. They should have stuff where they are because they deserve it.
Just listening to what you're saying, I mean, do you get to youngsters as well?
Mm-hmm.
That because rightly or wrongly, estates get reputations for antisocial behaviour and all that. Are you reaching those sort of people, that kids, or is it through the parents or the grandparents, and they come along and they think, actually, I don't have to be doing naughtiness or whatever.
A scallywag, I think.
Yeah. I was trying to search for the appropriate word of naughtiness. Yeah, I don't have to be a scally or anything. I could get involved in this. There's something for me. Are you doing that sort of stuff?
I hope so. So our Right on Your Doorstep programme, which is our sort of touring programme of shows that goes around to different venues in the city, that's always family friendly. So sometimes it's for much younger kids, but that's always family programming. But then we try and involve, I guess teenagers are always a difficult target group, aren't they? Because they've got their own stuff going on. But, at Bransholm Chat, the Saturdays is for crafting, family stuff. On a Thursday evening, we're open a bit later so older kids can come in and get involved in something. And I guess one of the things, I don't know if we've stopped anyone being a scally completely.
Sorry.
But we did a huge outdoor show at Bransholm in 2019 called Back to Bransholm.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in the car park of North Point Shopping Centre. And it was a circus punk pop opera.
Nice.
Because it had a mix of everything. And Louise wrote this really amazing story after spending a lot of time up at Bransholm talking to residents about, it was a love story. Because North Point Shopping Centre was an RAF base in the Second World War.
All right.
So there was this story of a ghost that haunted North Point Shopping Centre, and we turned that into a love story. And we had some amazing performers. We had what's called a cloud swing, which is huge. Like, I don't even know how many feet in the air it would go. And there's a female performer who was swinging on it. And we also had a Chinese pole, which was really, really tall. And we had one of the best Chinese pole performers ever, all the way from Mexico, come and perform in the show. And when he was rehearsing, there were a lot of scally kids on bikes watching him. And everybody said we were mad for going up to Bransholm because, everything will get nicked, stuff will get damaged. Nothing did. After they saw that, that amazing sight of a guy, a Mexican guy, climbing, 50 feet up into the air on a Chinese pole, they were mesmerised. And in the end, they protected our generators. They were there every night, riding up and down, getting other kids to come and see it. They loved it.
Engaged.
They would never have been able to see that otherwise. And recently, we did a project called Now That's What I Call an Orchestra with the Eclectic Orchestra. And I don't know if I should say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Yeah. In one of the areas we were at, there was this really amazing local guy. And he said while the orchestra was playing, all the drug dealers stopped dealing crack. So,
well, there you go.
They were so engaged with the music.
Brilliant.
So, yeah, hopefully.
Well, now we just need to put on 24-hour-day concerts.
This is it.
Run
And it
drug
solves
dealers
all
out
the
of
problems.
right around the city. That should give. That's the warm glow
Yeah.
answer. That's it's brought us full circle. What's the big thing for 2025? Are you at that stage yet?
Well, we've got our sort of flagship events in the pipeline. So we do a summer shower bang every July with our usual bus. Again, if you're available for driving duties, please come along. Where we do a tour of all of our hub areas in the city, and it's a bus basically full of performers. We've had Dean Wilson.
I've been on that bus. The driver of that bus is an absolute nutter.
Careful.
No, he is. I don't care. I told him as much.
Right.
But
Another lawsuit.
We'll be doing our summer shower bang, our winter parade. Again, we'll be back in December. And in the meantime, in the between bits, watch this space. We've always got something exciting planned.
Oh, they have. Check out Back to Hours. Nesta Sheehan, the company manager of Back to Hours. We've really enjoyed your company on the CuriosityCast. Thank you very much for coming to see us in Hull Central Library. So there you go. That's it for this episode of the CuriosityCast. Remember, you can ask questions, seek answers on the Curiosity website, www.curiosityhull.co.uk. There's loads of stuff on there, some really good films and a talking bear. Or follow and friend us on the socials, where we're Curiosity Hull on all the main feeds. We'll be back very soon with more quality answers to whatever question you'd like to ask.